to Oakley Hour, and today we have Snoopy and Friends Doghouse, issue number 9. I know it's been a long time in coming, lots of reasons, but we'll get there in the end. So what we will be doing today is doing some more to this scene that we started. Remember we did a little bit blue paper on the back of the wall, that one. Looks like we're making a bedspread. We get our Olaf character today. Love a little bit of peanuts. Then we have our instructions for our build. You will need some things from last time too, and that is it. Today's all about Marcy, and we have a few cartoons. I couldn't think of the word for Marcy as well, and then we have also about playing baseball, because of course that was a big thing for Snoopy and his friends. And then we go into our cartoons for June 1951 this time. So we got all of those going on as well. Snoopy's love for food, especially ice cream. Naughty, naughty, they're not really meant to have that. Back in the day, you know, I mean, like, there's so many restrictions of what animals can have now, and back in the day, dogs particularly were left with leftovers. So were cats, actually. I actually have a picture of my granddad, so well in the 1900 and maybe 10 to 15 era, outside with a saucer feeding the cats with milk and leftovers. So there you go. Very different back then. And then doesn't mean it was better, it just was different. Now you just got to be careful with everything, haven't you? And then we carry on with June 1951. So let's see what we have in the box and what else we are going to need for today. So I should have taken the lid off this first to save all the noise. I forgot. Too keen to get going. So what we have are some walls. Okay, these are side walls, so we might put these on. You know, like most times I rather wait until it's almost finished before we put them on, but we'll see. We have a template and our fabric that will be for our bedspread. This, I believe, is going to be the curtain rail. This is almost like food bag ties with a wire in the middle, which we will be also using. Window, and more to do with the curtains, and then I think that's it, except for our little friend here, Olaf. And how cute is he? He's a sweetheart. Look at him with his little tongue sticking out. I mean, how cute is that? That's lovely. Adorable. I don't know what room he goes into. Maybe he goes into the room with the bed. I don't know. Did we see that? Hold on. Let me get that book back again. Did we see him in the bed? We did. I think that's probably him down there. There we go. He will be in the bed scene that I don't think we've even started, or maybe that's what these curtains are for. Wow. Memory. Good times. Right, let me move the bedspread to one side because we're not going to be doing that yet. Other things you will need in this issue are your tape. Yours will look different to this. They provided a small reel. I don't know where it is. I could have used it for another project, but I have a lot of double-sided tape anyway. You will also need, and I put mine onto masking tape to keep it safe, the 2 leftover dots for the window, and the wall that we will need is going to be this one. And that, my friends, is where we are starting. So let's get my board in place. And turn to the right page, and the first thing we are going to do is turn this over, and we are putting in our flowers with a little bit of glue, super glue, and popping it in there. Now, anyone who's seen any of my other videos knows that I've been using my Snoopy super glue for other things. But I still have loads of it, it's not like I don't, but this will give us a lot more precision for things like this, what we are doing right now. So I've put them on the corners too, because we pop this in so it looks like so, and it's got a little hole in there. just line up that hole like so. That just fit in there perfectly when I can line it up. Of course I lined it up perfectly fine without the super glue. I don't know, put the super glue on, can't do a thing. And then we will need our 2 things over from here. You can clip them out if you want, or you can just twist them. Either way they will come out quite easily. And that is that finished. And then we will put these on. You do that quick, and then I'll go and see what my little Juliet wants. She's been a good girl today. And one more. One here. And I will go and have a look what she wants. Alright, now those are in, and Juliet hopefully is happy. She had some training. She's looking out the window though, and this could be a bit dangerous, because normally we have to get some barking going on. So you have 2 different lengths. You have short and long on this. And so what are we doing? Let's see. We have 2 of these. It has the longer edge, the one up here at the top, and the smaller edge down the bottom. So they're already folded, so you'd think that would make it easy. What I am going to do is get a stick handy, because I think we may need it at some point. Plus I just want to make sure that these do go all the way through without any disturbance, because when we put that rod on it will need it. But before we do that, we are going to line the whole thing with, see, that one's got stuck here, so I just need to make sure that that's not happening. We are going to line every edge but one. So if this is the top and that's the bottom, let's move that out of the way, don't need that for a bit. And you want to line the opposite, so you leave one free, which is going to be the middle one, which you pull back, I think. And then we are going to apply for some double-sided tape. Double-sided tape you can just tear, by the way. You don't have to be all precision with the scissors, although you might like to be. And obviously if you've still got their tape, I mean, I've probably used it in another project. I mean, I have a lot of tape of different sorts. That said, I'm probably going to get the scissors to that edge, because that edge is over. Let me get the scissors to hand. I don't think there's any crafts to do in this one, so that's kind of, should make it a bit quicker. So you put them on the top, then you, maybe I will just use scissors, say, all the way right at the top, and then down one side, keeping it away from the middle one. And it's up to you which one's the middle one. Oh, hold on. Well, okay, that was a surprise. Where were we? Alright. And it's morning, so I tend to get a lot more phone calls and bits and pieces first thing in the morning. So then one more going across. So it is even though you can tear this stuff, it is a bit easier with the scissors. You can get it a bit more precise. So I'm going to get the other one done, and so that's how it should roughly look. It's not perfect, is it? But it should roughly look like so. And then you want to peel them. Let me see if I can move on to the next stage. Cut off the excess with nippers or a small, double-sided tape. Okay, apply double-sided tape to 3 sides of each curtain as shown, leaving it off on 2 sides that meet in the middle. Madam. Okay, so we peel this off. If you push it down with your nail, then you should find it easy to peel it off. Don't peel the top one, as I was about to. Just peel the bottom one here and this side. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your short wire. Don't get rid of your tape, you're going to need it again. It's all about the double-sided tape on Snoopy, isn't it? And you're going to take your short wire, come back, and put it along here. I don't think it matters which way. And then bend it around so it stays on that edge all the way up, and this is what they mean about the nippers, to the top. And I'm just going to do it with a pair of scissors, although I have them. Don't know how far it needs to go up, to be honest. Well, would have been easier with the nippers. Okay, so like so. Let's do that other one. So, like I say, the one at the bottom, not the top. Peel it off. And what it's going to be used for, I'm pretty certain that didn't come off. What it's going to be used for, I'm pretty sure, is to make, again, a ripple in the curtains. And you could probably also, if you wanted to do it with a needle and thread. But I'm going to follow the directions. But the whole thing coming off again. Normally if you put your nail over it, it's enough to make it fasten and you can loosen it. But it doesn't want to do that in this instance. Neither side. There we go. And you don't want to put your hand too much like I just did on the window there, because you don't want to lose its stickiness. So put it onto the edge, bend it around and take it up to the top like so. Alright, should probably get my nippers out really. Of course they start at the top here and do it that way, but oh, I don't know where that went. Alright, so then you have it like so. Now we are going to need this, and again you can use your nippers for taking it out, or you can just twist them. Alright, let's succumb. We can't do it anymore. And just cut it close. And this is your curtain rod. Well, these are the ends, but this is the curtain rod in the middle here. And you won't be needing the rest of this plastic. Make sure it's nice and close, like so. And then you will thread the pearl through here. Can't remember which one it was that was giving me hassle. And you want it that the ends with nothing going on are in the middle. It doesn't have the tape or the wire in the middle. So, like so. Really well. I can't even get it. I can't get to do what I'm trying to do. There we go. Wow, how weird. It's probably got burr on the end there or something. Okay, so they are both in. Okay. Thread the rail through the channel. Yep. Okay. Then you want to, the lugs go in the direction and then peel. So you want to make sure that these lugs on the end of here, so you can see they've got an end, are facing upwards. Just checking myself. And you're going to want to use a little bit of super glue for this. So I'm going to put it on the end of my rod. Does that seem the most sensible? And you just want it facing upwards. I don't know if they can go in any other way. Are they a special shape? They are not. So yeah, just make sure that they're facing upwards. And push this curtain a bit closer, so I've got a bit of room. Oops. Okay, fascinated what these other wires are for then. And that one goes in there. Give that a second. Okay, then we are going to apply this to our wall. So again, you want a little bit of super glue in these places up here, these two holes up here. And then it says, what does it say? So you can use tape to fasten this to the wall if you want to, but there's might be enough on there. So what you want then what to do is, once it's in, this one said no. They both said no, so let me give those, I guess, a second. Hold them for a moment and then push your curtains across so there's a space in between, and then fasten these sides to the wall. And you might need a bit more double-sided tape. I mean, I actually did think it had enough on there, but you may need some more. And then you can use the ends to crumple it up. Okay, let's assume that that's a bit better. So I don't know what we're using these for, these longer ones, but it doesn't seem that we're using them particularly for anything much. Okay, so I'm going to put some on our fabric again, so it can go onto the wall. And you might have some, you might be able to do it without having to use double-sided tape. It's just mine landed quite squarely on the double-sided tape that I had down. But if yours is a little off, you wouldn't need to do this step. And it would still work, I'm certain of it. I think it's a bit of an overboard, put the wire in really. I mean, you've got wire down the side here and it's not being used for anything much. Kind of way out there. Right, scratch this up again, and now you can bend it a little bit at the bottom because you do have that wire in. I don't know what the purpose really of putting the wire on the edge at all. Wanted to stick to my board. Because you would think that you'd be pushing that together, but you're really not. So if you decided not to do the end ones, these ones here, I would not blame you whatsoever. And my wire came straight off on the back here. It really does not want to stay on there. No, stay on. Giving me hassle. And they have hairs a lot more open than what I seem to have. Wow, this wire doesn't like this creasing in the middle. It really says no. Let's try and do it that way. And I don't see how they think this is going to stay open either. But maybe it will. Okay, let's see if this one's any more successful. It's a bit better than the other one. Okay. And that's what it will look like. You know, guys, I put this on the wrong way. This needs to go on that other side. No. Can I do it? Bear with me. I did not see the turn it over. Let's try that again then. It actually came out quite easy. I don't think the super glue had particularly done much to the holes here. So make sure you turn it over in between and then stick it back down. She's had her treats. She's just being silly. Okay. Push that back. Alright, and that is what it should roughly look like. But you've got no tape to hold this together to keep it open. I don't know. Alright, okay, that is that. So what we do next is install it into the base. So bear with me. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to pop this in. So it fits on the opposite side to this one where we put the painters in, and this has the couch, the what's it called, living at home, something like that. And this one goes on the opposite side where we put that blue panel last time. I believe it was the last time anyway. And it just goes in those slots here. And I am going to super glue it in. But it does say next we will add the walls and not to super glue those in. So I'm just going to put them in, which is fine. I know at one point I didn't like doing the back walls, but in this case we are going to pop them in here like so. Very easy fit. Very, very easy fit. Okay, and I'll glue it away for the moment. And then on this side there are a difference between the walls. You have the left wall is A and this one is B, and left goes on. You want basically these on the inside. That's what you want. So you're going to put them in, but you're not doing anything to them and you're not fitting them. That's it. They sit in there very nicely, and you just want to make sure you've got your hooks on the inside really. This one has a thing further out too. Interesting. So I'm not sure why we are putting them in without gluing them. And then we're going to do the same with these ones, the pink ones, which are going to go on our curtain side that we just did. And again, hook on the inside. Oh, it's facing outwards, guys. See, couldn't get the left and right sorted. She's being really happy. So these hooks on the outside, not on the inside. So as much as it told me to do it on the left side, I thought I knew best. And you know what happened with that? It was wrong. So here's the thing. I got a question for you guys. I'm not going to do the same one here. I got a question for you. So, dogs. So, like, today is rainy. So she doesn't want to go out. So she hasn't even gone out for her morning business, which is totally ridiculous. So why is it, and my son's dogs are the same, they hate rain so very much, and yet they see a pond and they dive in it. What's with that idea? Where does this come from? It confuses me. It confuses me whatsoever. It's like one of my son's dogs will roll quite happily in Fox's poop, and yet when he's in the back garden, if there's a slight bit of poop in the garden, he's like, no, I can't go near there. I'm too good for that. Anyway, beside the point. I'm sure you have all the answers to this. Why dogs do what they do. Right, and that's that, and we are moving straight on to our bedspread. So we wouldn't be needing those long wires, so that's what they're for. We'll be needing our tape again. Don't need you, fella. And we need to cut this out. So the best way is probably to glue it on the outside and then cut it. And it does have a edge here. We're doing that over, so we're going to be putting some double-sided tape on here. So I don't know if there's a right way or a wrong way on the fabric. Oh, actually that one looks much more yellow, doesn't it? So let's say that the pale colour is not correct, so I'm going to put a spot of glue. I don't use that glue, got a bit tacky, although Beacon is probably the best. I show you Beacon. I can't even get the lid off the tacky. It's been a moment with being on holiday and stuff, so tacky is a bit more stringy, but I'm just going to put some on the paper, not on the fabric, and it's very keen to come out, as you can see. So it's quite thick paper, and a little bit at the bottom corner. Neighbour. She has to let me know about the neighbour. Alright, once that's on there, all you have to do is cut this out. So you don't have to use glue, you could just hold it. I find it easier with a bit of glue. I will be back Then you're going to take your fabric and you're going to put double-sided tape on, so I'll get that done too, and then come back and show you. It's definitely not perfect. I think my scissors need new ones. Okay, while I was on the phone, I did start to do my double-sided tape. So I do 2 strips here, 1 here, going around here, cut this angle off. Actually, let's leave that angle on. So I did notice that this edge is bigger than the other edge, which makes me wonder if I've done it right, but I think I have. It looks the same as the picture. Oh, I didn't get it quite close enough, but it should be okay. I did it earlier and I was wearing it. All the tape had come off and stuck to my hand. And then I'm just going to do one going over here to hopefully meet. And up there. And then we're going to take these off all the way around. Let me read that. That's as far as that goes anyway. And then let's see. Then we oh, have we got to do 0.5 all the way along? Okay, apply double-edged tape along the straight edge of the cloth, top photo. And fold over about 1 centimetre as shown in the bottom. Well, darn it. Okay, so one of these is wasted basically. So let me see if I can pull that off. I can. So hold on to that, you will need it. So you just put one on for the moment. And then you fold this one over. Oh, she's not barking at the postman, I guess that's something. And she's been on a barking thing today. And then fold this over like so, so it's got a better edge to it. I don't think you do this all the way around though. Oh, you do? Okay. So then you're going to fold over all the edges, basically. Which I won't have any tape in the corner here. So it tidies up the edges. One's still stuck to me. Not putting it on the right way either. But we are going to put another piece afterwards on it. So this is just tidying up your edges of your fabric where it was cut. When you get it off, I'll go ahead and get the rest of this done and folded down, and we can go from there. And I think then we apply the tape again all the way around the edge, by the way. Okay, so I will look something like that, and then you will apply double-sided tape on that edge again on the rough side. So I noticed that this corner wasn't looking too round, so I put a bit extra tape on there. So it looks a bit rounder rather than triangular. And so you can see I've applied that one and that one. I thought I was recording, but I wasn't. Never happens to me, right? And then go up here. So I'll carry on and get the rest of this done. And then, let's take that back a bit. And then we put wire on it. So I'll take those edges off of the paper and I will show you. So this part was wrong, the top. So what you then do is go onto the right side of the fabric and apply this, then take it off again, like so, and then fold it over. Well, that's not going to work, is it? Basically you want that side showing, so I think I'm going to have to go back to step one. Hold on. I don't know, it looks like that, although theirs looks a lot neater than mine. Mine definitely doesn't look a neat edge, I guess, by the time you put wrinkles in it and things. So this one's not folded over like the others to give it a clean edge, from what I can gather. I'm trying. I'm trying. Then we're going to roll it over and put more tape on here. So I had thought I'd finish with the tape, but obviously wasn't. So that it gives it like it's a bed being made, I guess. Lift the top over. And that. Right, now let's peel all those off and we just put these wires on. And we want to go, one goes along here and the other one goes all the way around, evidently. So let's get them off. None of them want to come off. Okay, sort the dog. Quick sort of old puppy. I think this is what they meant anyway. I thought they'd double over that edge actually, wouldn't they? To make it look a bit tidier, but oh, dang it. From what I can gather, that's not the case. Stay off me. Getting irritated with you. I am. I should have got a needle and thread out. It would have been cleaner. Once I thread the needle anyway. I'm sure you don't need to see me struggle, and I really am. Okay, those are all off to a fashion. Then you take your wire and you run it all around the edge, bending it as normal. I'm thinking do the flat one over there. So you want it to go round. So it carries on being quite curvy. I guess as close to the edge as you can. And then this one, and this is it, by the way. We just put this on, we don't do anything with it. Don't do anything with any of it anymore. It's the end of the, what's it? Well, mine doesn't fit all the way. I'm definitely not going to have enough wire for this. And it makes you think that I've done something wrong. But it then says cut the surplus off. All around the edges. Maybe you're not meant to have it on the top. Looks like it's on the top. Well, I'm going to use what I have. And it just goes, mine is going to go without any on here. And it will look something like so. I don't care what they say, I'm going to tidy this up. Even if I just double it over a little bit all the way along. Okay guys, so this is what we have done for the episode. But let's see, before we look at that, what we have coming up in issue 10. Which I also have. I have issues 9, 10, 11, 12, and do I have 13? 10, 12, and 13, yes. They're just out of order on my stand. Okay, and we have coming up, we are going to be attaching that bedspread, and you're not going to need it down that edge anyway, by the looks of it, right? And we're going to make a pot of flowers, which I think we literally make. So we're going to be doing some crafting. And we get Andy. How awesome is he? Does he go in the bed? I don't know. Let's have a look back at number 9. See if Andy's in the bed. I believe he might be. Is that Andy? That one, I think, actually. So that was issue 9. That's what we have coming up for issue 10. And this is what we have done for today. So most of the work was on the curtain and this bedspread. I am going to sort out this edge. I don't like it whatsoever. and tidy it up, and that's what we have. So these sides are not stuck in, and we will continue on step 10, where we're just going to do the bed, I think. Don't know if we're making it looks like we're going to make the bed actually. So we will see what else we do, and a pot of flowers for our little table that goes on this side over here, I think it was. Alrighty guys, so thank you very much for watching. It's very slidey, isn't it? Do take care of yourselves. Any comments are very much appreciated. I will always respond to them. Please do like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I appreciate every one of you who has been supporting the channel from day one, which is back in March. And most of all, do take care of yourself. That's the most important thing. I will see you back for issue 10 or other content. Take care. Bye.